Today we're going to be looking at a problem that involves proportional reasoning. We're going to illustrate this problem using diagrams. So let's begin by looking at the question. The D'Souza family is going on a trip to Prince Edward Island and back. It is 1,600 kilometers from home to PEI. Determine the total cost of the gas for the D'Souza family's trip to PEI and back if the cost of gas is 128 cents per liter and the car uses 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Show your work. So let's begin by listing some information that this question gives us. How far is the trip from home to PEI? Well, we're told that it's 1,600 kilometers from home to PEI. But the D'Souza family is also traveling from PEI back home. So that's another 1,600 kilometers. How about the cost of gas? Well, we're told that the cost of gas is 128 cents per liter. So that's $1.28 for every 1 liter. How much gas does the D'Souza family's car use? It uses 9.8 liters for every 100 kilometers. So that's 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers traveled. So let's think about this for a minute. If the car travels 100 kilometers, it would use 9.8 liters of gas. Well, how many groups of 100 would I have to make to get to 1,600? Let's say that one arrow represents a distance of 100 kilometers. How many times does 100 go into 1,600? Well, 1,600 divided by 100 is equal to 16. So how many groups of arrows do we need to make to represent 1,600 kilometers? That's right, 16 arrows. If every arrow represents 100 kilometers, if I draw 16 arrows, that's 100 times 16 is a total of 1,600 kilometers. This represents the D'Souza's family's trip one way. Well, we also need to figure out how much gas they use altogether. Well, if each time they travel 100 kilometers, they use 9.8 liters of gas, and if there's 16 groups, that means I need to take 9.8 and multiply it by 16, since there are 1,600 kilometers traveled altogether. 9.8 times 16 is equal to 156.8 liters. So therefore, the car uses 156.8 liters of gas for one way. Now, if the rate remains the same and they're traveling 1,600 kilometers on the way back, they're going to use another 156.8 liters. So altogether, how much gas is this car using? 156.8 plus 156.8 equals 313.6 liters. So the total gas used is 313.6 liters for this trip. But what was this question asking us to find? Not the total gas. They wanted to know the total cost of the gas. Well, if we know the price per 1 liter, can we find out how much it costs for 313.6 liters? So gas costs $1.28 for every 1 liter. So to find out how much it costs for every 313.6 liters, we're going to multiply this amount by 313.6. We get an answer of $401.408. But when working with money, we don't round it to 3 decimal places, we round it to 2 decimal places. We need to round this to the nearest penny. Well, if we look at the number next to this, it's greater than 5. So what are we going to do? That's right, we need to round up. So the cost is approximately equal to $401.41. Therefore, we've just answered the question and found the total cost of the trip. Now remember, this was just one method of solving this problem using diagrams. Is there only one way to solve a problem in math? Definitely not. So check out our playlist to see other ways of solving this problem.